A big company, I won't name it, and a global consultant working within the big company recently, which that company has also invested huge amounts in design thinking, asked our small team to help her think through some things and work with her on a project, because she said we've become a company that just maintains status quo. People don't think here, you know. And with entrepreneurs, you run the same risk. The more you're focusing, in fact, yesterday we were at the NASCOM warehouse, and a lot of the entrepreneurs didn't even walk in because they're so busy focusing on what they're doing that they stop thinking. You know, it's the balance you have to maintain all the time. You have to keep thinking ahead. You have to keep thinking of, okay, so the new technologies, how does that work? You know, cultures are changing, people are changing. How does all of this work? So this thinking, this constantly taking in experiences. It could be a walk in the market. So it's not just reading of course, but then also experiencing things and then communicating back to your team, to the world. How does this change where I stand? How does this change my view? That's a very, very important part, and design again helps you visualize that part and express it much, much better, articulate much, much better. So this is a new university which has made its basis, which is very beautiful. They decided that the basis of our existence will be to help students. And again, this is something we worked on. So somebody had a vision and we helped put the vision in words through design, which is, he said, what we interpreted was the fact that it would be a place that helps students know correctly, which in Pali means pa and na. So pana means know correctly. What is the aim of education? And here was somebody was really thinking. I mean, and what is the aim of education? It's not to stuff your head with knowledge. It's to help students to know correctly. So one of the things we've done there, and I'll show you that video, you skip it, but it's actually infused design thinking into the PU curriculum. That's one curriculum where parents want to send kids to a marks factory, you know, and they should I just want them to get good marks, and the child suffers. It's such an important period of your life when you suffer. So how can you have a win-win? You can actually sort of make sure that they learn, but also that they learn correctly. So we've made design thinking the basis, but this is the method we have followed. And these are the tools we use. So we've interpreted that as trying to create an atmosphere of direct learning, which means that if you go out, you experiment. It's like you touch something hot, now you want to know why did it hurt. If you don't touch it, you don't want to know, right? So the entire model is designed with this discover, play, reflect method, and in every chapter, in every subject, we've introduced this. So they're trying to do things differently from the start. Try to do this later, it doesn't work. So as entrepreneurs, your opportunity is to think through things like this now, you know, because it's possible to do it at the start. looked at this as this medical museum. So there are samples in a medical museum, you can actually go study them, but students think I can Google anything, I can see it on my phone, why should I go into this place? So we said, okay, if you don't want to go into this place, we'll bring in the technology. We'll make it like this completely wow place, and there's so much happening that you'll want to come in. So here's a place where it's in progress, so some of the tech I can't show you yet. But you walk in and in one place you see your skeleton walk. So you want to do that again and again, Or if there's a brain sample, then it's a device which should not be called this, but we fondly call it the microwave because it looks like one. There's a brain sample there, and on the glass you can actually see different data about it right in front. So a lot of that to make it a better cognitive experience where it's not just reading, it's not just looking, it's combining knowledge, experience, and the communication part of it. It allows you to input there. So really it has allowed us to create a very different experience. So the experience design has come from thinking like that, thinking about the cognition and how it happens. Yeah. So I find this in the Indian context for some reason really lacking. Maybe because our parents really wanted us to study science. This whole aesthetic sense, we don't even take it seriously. It's a hodgepodge all the time, and it's something that every entrepreneur must consciously work on. Because you're communicating a message, and the way you're communicating today on that little screen. If it's something that happens, if you're using a mobile to connect with the customer. It's a personality. In her, she had a personality. The voice, he says Scarlett Johansson because that voice is so important. That's her personality. So, if today you personify it, you may actually see her, but tomorrow even the voice should say that. It has to be consistent. So that voice has to be consistent from the beginning. So it has a persona. It is a sensory message. You need to take away the unnecessaries and just have that one way in which you communicate. Articulate it. Make a mood board. Do something where you put it in front of you and this is the personality and it cannot change. So the aesthetics is important. And I think given our heritage, we have a lot that we can use. Exploit it. It's yours. Reinvent it, and create something unique out of that, because the West really looks at what we have as an aesthetic heritage, which we don't enough. And craft, of course, craft above all else. See the work that has gone into this font, San Francisco, which is used in all Apple devices. See the difference between the I and the L. It has to be just the right height, for you to be able to read it. And it's got dynamic spacing as the letters go small. If the characters move, the kerning changes so that you can read better. That's craft. It doesn't happen just like that. It's not for no reason that those devices are addictive. Because somebody's taking care of these things. And small opportunities. You can take anything and you can really do it beautifully. This is for our client food hall. We had actually designed the whole store and we saw an opportunity. And it's a unique Indian opportunity. The fact that we love to give food. We take food from one place to another place and then, like mangoes from here to there and something else from there to there. And we saw an opportunity. This is a gourmet food store to expand the Indian love of food and the love of gifting food. So we actually curated these sort of gifts and took care to even the ribbons are designed. Thousands and thousands of meters, 500,000 ridiculous amount of meters of ribbon have been printed, And what happened was the year we launched this, I think it was 2012 or something, that festive season, the store was rent-free because of this. All the money came out of this. And Godrej has since tried to copy it, but they've not yet achieved it. Because it's been, you have to put in that effort. You can't wake up a couple of days before, it's just before the festive season and suddenly scamper to do things. The customer can also see it. When you touch and feel something, you know how much thought has gone into it. Next time you pick up anything, you buy anything, just think about what the people behind it were thinking, what they were thinking. how much love they put into it, you'll know. How much love and thought, the two things. See, and so where in Apple it comes from is he puts craft above all else. So that craft is a very, very important aspect of design. This is the most interesting. You know, it's like that Amazon odd cow. You know, odd cow. The Indian tendency, and I think worldwide the tendency is we want to move forward. We don't know what will take us there, but some things make you suddenly feel like you're in the future. You've evolved, you're at a higher level, all of that. So, which is where you have to be a couple of steps ahead of your user, your customer. What is it that will make you feel like they moved up, they moved on in life? And this could be anybody. This doesn't, which is where Reliance, scored a huge hit with the phones when they first came out, where even the sort of in our context, the BBMP workers were, doing jhadu on the street and talking on the phone at the same time. They had skipped, they've never had a phone at home, they don't have an address, but they've evolved. So that evolutionary sense, which is what design does, which is where you feel like you see a good piece of design, you feel like you're touched by the hand of God, something beautiful happened here. Which is where when you actually you see a beautiful sunset, you see a beautiful morning, the same thing happens. It's so powerfully designed. So, and how does this apply? Again, the way we think. Like, at one level you have e-tailers today talking of boxes. At another level, in our own work with Future Group, they were trying to develop modern retail for India. Our first brand, the moniker for that was a hand. Because it stood for all the hard work everybody was putting in the group to actually create modern retail for India. But as the group was evolving, from being a Marwari company to being a professionally run company to being a big giant in retail. So the big giant in retail leap meant that you have to include India in the story. When it was about hard work, and that was needed at one point in time, the little kingdom started forming within the group. So people who thought, oh, I made this, I'm most important. They would treat the suppliers in a certain way because they were so important in the country, At that point in time, you had to start getting them to look outwards. The whole company had to start looking outwards and not be about me and my effort. And so the hand, and Mr. Biani was insistent on the hand. He said, "Nee, we're lucky here, we have to keep it." And which is when we slowly morphed it into this idea of, I have to do this, like that. So it became the Sonia ki chiriya, or the hand of gold. The bird of gold, the hand morphed into the bird of gold. So the Sonia ki chiriya was what India once was. And if everyone can aspire, consume, prosper, then we can be the Sonia ki chiriya again. Like I said, people respond well to good ideas. We had, I think on 20th January, the year this was launched, we had a mall owner in Delhi say, this year 2 ideas have touched me. One idea is Tare Zameen Par and one idea is Sonia ki chiriya. So in my mall, I want to give you space, do whatever you want with Sonia ki chiriya. So he called us up and we were, this was like I said, 20th January, we had to come up. We didn't have team in Delhi, we were all busy. And we had 1 or 2 people who were working on the Commonwealth Games at that time, so they were cursing us, saying, why are you making me do other work? I'm anyway going crazy. So, but we got these big white birds made, put them up in the mall. We kept post-its available which said, we've got people to bring their children, and it already said on it that when I grow up, I will make India the Sonia ki chiriya again, and this is what I'll do. So people got their children to fill it up, and all the children were full up by the evening. And it was not human, it was not enabled by humans, it was happening on its own. It was just available, you could read. Some of them talked about the story of India, the Sonia ki chiriya, and it just worked on its own. So given the right ideas, people will respond. So, that just makes me think about, for you guys, if when you're doing something, when you're creating a new brand or creating a new idea, think about what is the big change that you're making in people's lives and how can you tell them that story? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, he's selling soap, clothes, shoes, but what's that big story? What's that big story in your head that you communicate to your team? What is that big purpose? And of course, in the long term it will survive if you've thought through the other aspects. Are you making sense socially? Are you making sense environmentally, economically? All of that is not difficult to get it all together. But when you get it together, then it's a sustainable success story. So this is another, in my own experience, is turning and looking at, again, for emerging markets, just looking at how it is important for us to understand and how would people leap forward. Supposing if everyone can have aspirations, and if we can have a tool to find everybody's aspirations and document them and ask them and work from there. So Riemann was one such effort to reach out and see how it's an evolutionary idea to help reach out and connect to everyone's aspirations. So there's a model that was created for that. That's called the dream catcher. So you actually use that tool to go find out what people are dreaming of. To sum up design sets and what we're talking about here is the resolution of it's not easy, it's a resolution of the outer world and the inner world. It's about the possibilities outside and what you have within you. It's about resolving the art and the science, it's about resolving the past and the future. And that is where it plays a role. And also having a holistic view, which is where businessmen, politicians, bureaucrats, leaders, they are the people who need to have that holistic view, and of course, startups. Yeah, so that's the model. This is quickly about us before I finish up, that we are basically a design firm that exists to expand possibilities and to expand the mind. Some of our current favorite projects are, we are working with the Indian highways to actually make the highways people friendly. So we're prototyping a stretch of highway from Jaipur to Delhi to see how it can actually be people friendly and what all do you need to do to make it people friendly, from using technology to all kinds of measures introduced there, from water to toilets to stuff. This is some of the work that we'll hopefully see across the country very soon. These people, it's a department that moves very fast. Another favorite project of ours, and you'll see this, check out zevenworld.com. We are working with these entrepreneurs to create a very vibrant, very different sports brand for India. With the thought there is to make Indians want to live to play. So for the look and feel, we've taken the colors that are India and the technology that we're talking about, the grit and the grunge and the sweat and everything to create this brand. So the logo actually borrows from, at one level, a ninja star, at another the chakri. It's a 7-pointed star which is supposed to sort of churn your insides and make you want to play. These are some of the products, check them out. The first store I think we launched in this season, and then slowly they'll be across the country. Yeah, another favorite of ours is this app that we've designed from scratch, which is now being launched globally, which is hopes to change the future of both. It's office stays and experiences, so you can actually book a whole experience in Cuba, for instance. So this is just being launched. So fundamentally, this is our method. We design, we build, and we spread. And this, with 20 years of experience, this is how we've sort of put down. These are the steps we take. So it's available on our site if you want to learn from it. And I have one additional slide here. You've been asking me for books. You can see the next slide. So I read a neatly about how leaders are readers. These are 3 books that reference our work. But here's your book list. I'll also WhatsApp it to you. I'll WhatsApp it to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.